Bring in William Lawrence, former US diplomat, who joins us from Washington, D.C. William, a number of developments then, and Donald Trump clearly very optimistic about this, but there are a number of grey areas left from the Hamas statement, namely disarmament and the future governance of Gaza.
Yeah, this is not a deal, and it's not really a plan, but it's still hugely important. It's a set of principles that each side has agreed to some of, and it's Trump announcing a deal that we don't really know what's actually in the deal. And then each side has staked out positions that make parts of the plan or the list of principles unworkable. And so what that means, as some outlets have been reporting for a day or two, this could be the start of a negotiation. But it's important to note that there's very little trust here in anyone by anyone. And so if the first steps start taking place, hostages get released, the bombs stop dropping, Israeli troops pull back, then we have the type of conditions that both sides want to be able to negotiate more. And, we've done better now than we have since the last ceasefire. And hopefully this one will go longer and have more success than the first or the second ceasefire did.
But the statement and the comments on both sides do provide for delays to all of this from Hamas and indeed from Israel. And there are fears that this could take us back to November 2023, when there was a ceasefire and some hostages were released. If all of those hostages are now released, does that give Israel then room to continue its military campaign once that's been achieved?
Not under the plan, but under the hedges about the plan that they've been stating and all the principles they've been stating. There was this really key moment when Netanyahu left the White House a week ago, whenever that was. And he said one thing to Trump, and it was announced, and then he went out and in Hebrew he said almost the opposite. And so Netanyahu's trying to play both sides of the coin here. He's trying to keep his coalition together, both wings of it, stay in power for as long as possible, delay the elections for as long as possible, and say, well, Trump made me do this and Trump made me do that. And that's exactly what's going on. Trump is making Netanyahu do things that he otherwise didn't want to do and wouldn't have done, and that Biden probably never would have pushed him to do. But there's a lot of problems here. And one is Trump can turn on a dime, and he'll often go with, whatever the sort of last person you talk to him says. And right now in Washington, there's all the muscle of the Israeli lobbies coalescing around the fact that Trump made announcements they didn't like and they didn't bless. And there's also negotiations going within inside Israel about what they might agree to and what they might not agree to for a certain period of time. And so all of that's being mobilized. What's new, and this has been underreported, is that there's a lot of Arab and Muslim advisors and countries advising Trump who also have his ear. And as Jazeera reported while I was live on air over there, they reported that a source at Newsmax had been told that Trump had made 10 phone calls to Qatar right before he announced everything on Truth Social. And that was, if it's true, and I believe it is true, Trump trying to be sure that there's a lot of buy-in on the Hamas side with Qatar pressure. And so a lot of this is a work in progress. And Trump's trying to see how far he can go with the two sides and go as far as he can before all the pressures to unravel the deal start to rear their ugly heads. And it would be great if these first steps could take place, the release of the hostages, the pullback of the Israeli troops, the stopping of the bombing, because then that builds trust and it creates space for the rest of the plan to be negotiated in its details.
William, great to get your thoughts today. Appreciate you joining us.